Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to a corner of the world where the sun seems to shine a little brighter and the water glows in shades of impossible blue. Today, we are setting our sights on the Bahamas. This isn't just one place, it's a sprawling archipelago, a stunning collection of over 700 islands and cays, scattered across the Atlantic Ocean. When you think of the Bahamas, your mind probably paints a picture of pure paradise. You're not wrong. Imagine endless stretches of powdery white sand, so soft it feels like walking on sugar. Picture yourself wading into crystal-clear turquoise waters, so warm and inviting they feel like a gentle embrace from nature itself. This is the classic image that graces postcards. But the Bahamas is so much more than a pretty picture. It's a feeling. The gentle rustle of palm trees swaying in the warm breeze, vibrant hibiscus, bursting bougainvillea, a rhythm of life that moves slower, more deliberate, and deeply connected to the sea. From the moment you arrive, you sense relaxation, shedding stresses, and reconnecting with sun sand and the vast open ocean. This is the Bahamas that invites you to simply be. The allure has captivated people for centuries. A haven for explorers, a hideout for pirates, a sanctuary for those fleeing colder climates. Its beauty is legendary, but the soul is in the details. Sunlight dancing on the water's surface, creating a million tiny diamonds, quiet coves, hidden beaches you can have all to yourself. Each island has its own personality and story, some bustling with energy, others untouched and wild. This diversity is endlessly fascinating. Hold on to that feeling of wonder. We will peel back the layers, meet the people, taste local cuisine, Caribbean spices and fresh seafood. Hear stories passed down through generations. Tales of adventure, resilience, and deep love for this island home. So get comfortable, and let's dive into the heart of the Bahamas. While the stunning beaches are certainly a main attraction, they are just the beginning of the story. To truly understand the Bahamas, we must look beyond the shoreline and into the vibrant culture that thrives here. This is a nation with a rich and complex history, a tapestry woven with threads of Arawak Indians, Spanish explorers, British loyalists, West African slaves. This history is not just confined to museums, it is alive in the streets, in the architecture, and in the spirit of the Bahamian people. You can feel it in the colonial charm of Nassau's old town, with its pastel-colored buildings and wooden verandas. Imagine walking through these historic streets, where every corner seems to have a story. You might pass a centuries-old fort, its cannons still pointing out to sea. The Bahamas was once the infamous Republic of Pirates. This adventurous, rebellious spirit is still a part of the national identity. But the story also includes the solemn history of the Loyalists who fled the American Revolution, bringing their traditions and their slaves, forever changing the demographic and cultural landscape of the islands. This blend of influences has created a culture that is uniquely and distinctly Bahamian. The culture here is a vibrant explosion of color, sound, and energy. Think of Junkanoo, the national festival. It's a spectacular parade of music, dance, and art that floods the streets with an infectious energy. Imagine elaborate, handcrafted costumes that are masterpieces of creativity, the pulsating rhythm of goombay drums, cowbells, and whistles that you can feel in your chest. This isn't just a party, it's a powerful expression of Bahamian identity, a celebration of freedom and heritage that brings communities together in a joyous, chaotic, and beautiful display. It's a testament to the resilience and creativity of a people who have forged a unique culture from a diverse and often difficult past. This journey we're taking is about discovering all of these facets. We will explore the Bahamas not just as a place to vacation, but as a living, breathing nation with a soul. We'll learn how its geography has shaped its destiny, from its shallow banks that were treacherous for large ships, to its deep ocean trenches that are home to incredible marine life. We will see how its people have adapted and thrived, creating a society that is both modern and deeply rooted in tradition. The Bahamas is a place of contrasts, tranquil and energetic, historic and contemporary, simple and sophisticated. Understanding these contrasts is the key to appreciating the true depth and beauty of these incredible islands. So, what can you expect from our time together? Think of this as your personal guided tour through the heart and soul of the Bahamas. Our mission is to cover it all, from the basic facts to the hidden gems that make this country so special. We will start with the fundamentals, getting our bearings by looking at a map to see exactly where the Bahamas is located. We'll talk about its capital city, Nassau, the bustling hub of the nation. We will also look at the national flag, a beautiful symbol, aquamarine, gold, black. Those colors tell a powerful story about the land, the sun, and the strength of the Bahamian people. Once we have the basics down, our adventure will broaden. We'll travel virtually from island to island, exploring the major cities and what makes each unique. We'll dive into the geography, beyond beaches to geological wonders, blue holes, underwater cave systems that mesmerize. We'll discuss the climate, that perfect tropical weather year-round. We'll meet unique wildlife, swimming pigs in the Exumas, iguanas roaming the caves. Nature here is a main character. We'll journey back in time, the earliest inhabitants, the swashbuckling pirate era, independence in 1973. We'll look at the system of government and learn about today's leaders. We'll delve into the spiritual life and religion. We'll immerse in culture, Junkanoo Festival, national symbols of pride, everyday life, popular sports, tasting local cuisine, Bahamian music and dance. Finally, the modern Bahamas, economy, tourism, economy, finance, exports, imports. We'll also tour famous landmarks and tourist spots, including its UNESCO World Heritage Sites. By the end, you'll see the Bahamas as both beautiful and complex. So, let's begin our deep dive into this archipelago of wonders. Now that we've set the stage, let's zoom in on the vibrant core of the Bahamas, its capital city, Nassau. Located on the island of New Providence, Nassau is more than just the political and commercial center of the country. It is its living, breathing heart. This is where the pulse of the nation is most strongly felt, a place where history, culture, and modern life collide in a brilliant display of energy. As you step into Nassau, you are immediately enveloped by its unique atmosphere. The air is thick with the scent of salt from the nearby harbor, mixed with the sweet fragrance of tropical flowers and the delicious aroma of street food sizzling on grills. It's a city of contrasts, where sleek, modern buildings stand alongside charming, pastel-painted colonial structures that have weathered centuries of sun and sea. The history of Nassau is as colorful as its architecture. It was founded in the mid-17th century as Charlestown, later renamed Nassau in 1695 to honor King William III of Orange-Nassau. Its deep, sheltered harbor made it a strategic prize, attracting an eclectic mix of settlers, merchants, and most famously pirates. For a time, Nassau was the notorious epicenter of the Republic of Pirates, Blackbeard, Calico Jack Rackham, and Bonnie. Walking through the city today, you can still feel the echoes of this swashbuckling past, especially as you explore the old forts, Fort Charlotte, Fort Fincastle. Modern Nassau is a dynamic city that gracefully balances its rich heritage with the demands of a bustling tourist hub. Bay Street, the main thoroughfare, is a hive of activity, lined with duty-free shops, lively markets, and restaurants serving up local delicacies. Here you'll see horse-drawn carriages, known as surreys, clip-clopping alongside modern cars, offering a charmingly slow-paced way to see the sights. Just a short walk away, you can find the Straw Market, a treasure trove of handmade Bahamian crafts. This is where local artisans display their skills, weaving intricate bags, hats, and baskets from dried palm fronds. It's a place of lively haggling and friendly conversation, offering a genuine connection to the local culture and craftsmanship. But Nassau is not just about the hustle and bustle of its downtown core. It also serves as the gateway to some of the most beautiful beaches and resorts in the Bahamas. Just across a short bridge lies Paradise Island, home to world-famous hotels, sprawling water parks, and luxurious casinos. Yet even amidst this glamour, you can find quiet corners and serene stretches of sand. The city itself is surrounded by stunning natural beauty, from the clear waters of Cable Beach to the lush botanical gardens at the Retreat Garden. Nassau is a microcosm of the Bahamas itself, a place where you can find thrilling adventure, quiet relaxation, and a deep sense of history, all within a few square miles. It truly is the perfect starting point for understanding this island nation. Every nation has a symbol that captures its essence, and for the Bahamas, that symbol is its striking national flag. Adopted on July 10, 1973, the day the Bahamas officially gained its independence from Great Britain, the flag is a powerful and beautiful representation of the country's geography, resources, and people. It's a design that is both simple and deeply meaningful, telling the story of the nation in three bold colors: aquamarine, gold, black. When you see this flag waving in the tropical breeze against a bright blue sky, you are looking at a visual poem about the Bahamian identity, It is a source of immense pride for the people and a constant reminder of their journey to sovereignty and their hopes for the future. The design of the flag consists of 3 horizontal stripes. The top and bottom stripes are a brilliant aquamarine blue, a color that immediately evokes the crystal-clear waters surrounding the islands. It represents the hundreds of miles of the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea that define the Bahamas as an archipelago. It symbolizes the water that has sustained the nation for centuries, providing food, shaping the land, serving as the highway for trade, travel, and exploration. This vast expanse of aquamarine represents the natural wealth and unparalleled beauty of the Bahamian environment, a resource that is central to the country's identity and its economy. It is the color of paradise found. Sandwiched between the 2 bands of aquamarine is a single horizontal stripe of gold. This vibrant, sunny color symbolizes the land itself, the sun, and the rich resources of the islands. It represents the golden sands of the countless beaches that draw visitors from all over the world. More profoundly, it stands for the life-giving sun that shines down on the Bahamas nearly every day of the year, nurturing its lush vegetation and warming its people. The gold is a symbol of a bright and prosperous future, representing the energy, warmth, and optimistic spirit of the Bahamian people. Together, the aquamarine and gold paint a perfect picture of the Bahamian landscape, sun-drenched islands set in a sea of turquoise. On the left side of the flag, a black equilateral triangle points towards the stripes. This powerful element represents the Bahamian people. The color black symbolizes the vigor, strength, and unity of a population that is predominantly of African descent. The triangle's determined point moving forward represents the enterprising and determined nature of the Bahamian people, and their commitment to cultivating the abundant resources of their land and sea. It is a symbol of their resilience, their shared heritage, and their collective journey from a past of hardship and servitude to a future of freedom and self-determination. The flag of the Bahamas is more than just a piece of cloth. It is the story of a nation, woven in color and form. To truly appreciate the Bahamas, we need to know where it is on the world map. This island nation is not located in the Caribbean Sea, a common misconception. Instead, the Bahamas is a sovereign country within the Lucayan archipelago of the West Indies in the Atlantic Ocean. It is situated just to the north of Cuba, the island of Hispaniola, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. To its northwest are the Florida Keys and the southern coast of the United States. Bimini is only about 50 miles east of Miami, making it a very close neighbor to the U.S. This strategic location has played a massive role in its history, influencing trade, influencing tourism, and influencing its cultural ties. The Bahamas has more than 700 islands and over 2,000 cays. The archipelago covers over 100,000 square miles of ocean, though land area is just under 5,400 square miles. Population is around 410,000 as of 2024. Nearly 70% live on New Providence, where the capital, Nassau, is located. The second most populous is Grand Bahama, home to Freeport. The rest live across the Out Islands, Family Islands. Official language, English, spoken with a distinct Bahamian dialect, remnant of British colonial history. You will also hear Bahamian Creole in informal settings. Official currency, Bahamian dollar, kept on par with the US dollar. US dollars are accepted everywhere. Geographically part of North America. Neighboring country, United States. Neighboring country, Cuba. Neighboring country, Haiti. No land borders, maritime neighbors. Position straddles Caribbean and North America, a melting pot of cultures and a hub for international travel and finance. Understanding these facts, location, population, language, currency, gives us the framework as we explore geography, history, and vibrant culture of this remarkable island nation. While Nassau and New Providence is the undeniable center of gravity in the Bahamas, the true soul of the nation is often found scattered across its many other islands. These are known as the Out Islands, or more affectionately, the Family Islands, and they offer a completely different experience from the capital's lively pace. The second largest city in the Bahamas is Freeport, located on the island of Grand Bahama. Freeport was designed in the 1950s as a free trade zone, and it has a more planned, modern feel compared to Nassau. It's a hub for industry and shipping, but also boasts beautiful national parks, sprawling resorts, and miles of pristine beaches. Beyond Grand Bahama, the Family Islands stretch out like a string of jewels, each with its own distinct personality and charm. The Abacos, for instance, are a sailor's paradise. a 120-mile-long chain of islands and cays, known for their calm, protected waters and quaint New England-style colonial towns like Hopetown and New Plymouth. Then there is Eleuthera, a long, slender island famous for its pink sand beaches and laid-back atmosphere. It's a place of rolling green hills and dramatic cliffs, where the deep blue Atlantic meets the tranquil turquoise of the Caribbean side at the Glass Window Bridge. Each island community, from the fishing villages of Andros to the secluded retreats of the Exumas, tells a different story of Bahamian life. Exploring these islands means discovering smaller yet significant settlements that are the heart of local life. Marsh Harbor in the Abacos is the third largest town in the Bahamas and serves as the commercial hub for that island group. In the Exumas, the main settlement of Georgetown becomes a bustling international harbor during the winter, as hundreds of sailors anchor in its protected waters to wait out the season. These towns are not cities in the traditional sense, they are tight-knit communities where everyone knows each other and life revolves around the sea. They are centers for bone fishing guides, small-scale farmers and local artisans, providing a glimpse into a more traditional and serene Bahamian way of life that has remained unchanged for generations. The beauty of the Out Islands lies in their diversity and their authenticity. You can find islands that are bustling with activity, and others that are completely uninhabited, offering a true castaway experience. Some islands are known for specific landmarks, like the famous swimming pigs of Big Major Cay in the Exumas, which have become an international sensation. Others, like Cat Island, are steeped in folklore and music, believed to be the birthplace of rake and scrape music. Traveling through these islands is like exploring a collection of small, unique countries, each with its own culture, landscape and rhythm. It is here, away from the main tourist centers, that you can truly connect with the natural beauty and the warm, welcoming spirit of the Bahamian people. When we think of the geography of most countries, we often picture towering mountains and winding rivers. The Bahamas, however, completely defies this expectation. Its landscape is remarkably flat, a characteristic that defines both its beauty and its geology. The islands are not volcanic in origin. They are essentially the exposed peaks of a vast underwater limestone plateau. This plateau was formed over millions of years from the skeletal remains of coral and other marine organisms. As a result, the highest point in the entire country, Mount Alvernia on Cat Island, is a mere 206 feet above sea level. This so-called mountain is more of a gentle hill, crowned by a charming medieval-style hermitage built by a reclusive priest. The lack of elevation has a profound impact on the island's hydrology. Because the land is so low-lying and the limestone bedrock is so porous, there are no true rivers or streams anywhere in the Bahamas. Rainwater doesn't run off into surface rivers, instead it seeps directly down through the limestone, creating a vast underground reservoir of fresh water. This freshwater lens literally floats on top of the denser salt water that saturates the rock beneath it. This is the primary source of drinking water for the island's inhabitants and has been for centuries. This unique geological setup means that the landscape is not carved by river valleys but is instead shaped by the slow, dissolving action of water on limestone over millennia. The terrain of the Bahamas is characterized by low, rolling ridges, mangrove swamps, and vast coastal flats. The soil is thin and alkaline, which makes large-scale agriculture challenging, but it supports a resilient ecosystem of hardy plants. You will find extensive pine forests, known as pine yards, on islands like Grand Bahama, New Providence, Andros, and Abaco. These forests are dominated by the Caribbean pine and create a landscape that feels surprisingly different from the typical palm-fringed beach scene. In other areas, the native vegetation is a dense, scrubby thicket known as coppice, which is teeming with a variety of plant and animal life adapted to the dry, limestone-based environment. This flatness also means that the boundary between land and sea is often fluid and gentle. The islands are fringed with some of the most spectacular beaches in the world, created by the constant erosion of the limestone and the breakdown of coral and shells. The landscape is also dotted with countless saltwater and brackish ponds, which are vital habitats for wading birds like flamingos and spoonbills. The absence of mountains and rivers makes the Bahamas a world of subtle beauty, where the drama comes not from towering peaks, but from the endless horizon, the shifting colors of the water, and the intricate, low-lying tapestry of pine forests, coppice, and mangrove-lined shores. While the land of the Bahamas may be flat, its underwater geography is anything but. The islands sit atop two major shallow water platforms known as the Great Bahama Bank and Little Bahama Bank. These banks are vast areas of submerged limestone, with water only a few feet deep, producing that famous luminous turquoise. The shallow water is a nursery for marine life, seagrass beds and mangrove systems. However, serene banks are intersected by deep oceanic trenches, like the tongue of the ocean, a U-shaped trench, plunging to over 6,000 feet, creating a contrast of light turquoise and deep indigo blue. The Bahamas' most iconic features are blue holes, underwater caves or sinkholes, entrances to submerged passage networks formed during past ice ages. Rainwater eroded limestone when sea levels were low, then caves flooded as ice caps melted and seas rose. From the air they look like perfect dark circles in paler turquoise. They're national landmarks attracting scientists, cave divers and curious travelers. The most famous is Dean's Blue Hole on Long Island, the second deepest saltwater blue hole at 663 feet. A dark abyss just steps from a white sandy beach. Inland blue holes, like on Andros, have a fresh rainwater layer over saltwater. These conditions support ancient life, including unique bacteria, making them scientific laboratories. For adventurous divers, blue holes are silent, dark realms with stalactites and stalagmites. Shallow banks and deep trenches together create diverse marine life. Shallow banks host conch, lobster, and reef fish. The wall, steep drop-offs, are covered in coral and sponges patrolled by sharks, tuna, and marlin. The Bahamas is world-class for fishing, snorkeling, and diving. Underwater geography is the hidden counterpart to the visible landscape, with dramatic cliffs, mysterious caves, and vibrant life, central to the identity and allure of the islands. When we dream of a tropical getaway, we often picture the perfect weather, and the Bahamas rarely disappoints. The climate here is one of its greatest assets, a key ingredient in the recipe for paradise. Officially, it's classified as a tropical savanna climate, wonderfully warm all year round. Days filled with brilliant sunshine, nights balmy and pleasant, cooled by gentle trade winds rustling palm trees. Nature's air conditioning keeps humidity from feeling oppressive. That delightful pattern makes the Bahamas a top escape from colder climates. The year is split into two main seasons: summer, warmer, wetter, May to October. Average daytime temps in the high 80s Fahrenheit, around 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. Rainy season with short, intense afternoon thunderstorms. Storms pass quickly, leaving the air fresh and the landscape glistening. Brief showers give respite from midday heat and usually return to bright sunshine, so plans rarely get ruined. Summer brings vibrant growth, islands lush and green. Winter, November to April, often called perfection. Humidity drops in winter, daily highs mid-70s to low 80s Fahrenheit, about 25 to 28 degrees Celsius. Rainfall much less frequent, days of endless sunshine and clear blue skies. Peak tourist season, weather ideal for outdoors, sunbathing on the beach, sailing on turquoise waters. Evenings comfortably cool, perfect for dining outdoors or taking a leisurely stroll under the stars without the intense heat of the summer months. Hurricane season runs June 1st to November 30th. It's a reality, but direct major hits aren't every day. Modern forecasting gives ample warning. Locals are resilient and well prepared. For travelers, that season often means fewer crowds and lower prices. With careful planning and travel insurance, visits can still be wonderful, full of sunny days and warm hospitality. The natural beauty of the Bahamas extends far beyond its beaches into the fascinating world of its wildlife. While you won't find large land mammals here, the islands are a sanctuary for a unique collection of reptiles, birds, and marine life. Perhaps the most iconic land animal is the Bahamian rock iguana. Large, gentle lizards found on several of the out-islands, particularly the Exumas. Prehistoric-looking creatures basking on limestone ledges or sandy shores. On Allen's Cay they greet visiting boats, a truly special ancient glimpse. The skies and wetlands of the Bahamas are a paradise for birdwatchers. The West Indian flamingo is spectacular. The largest breeding colony is in Inagua National Park on Great Inagua. Tens of thousands gathered together, a vibrant sea of pink against the stark white salt flats. The islands are also home to the Bahama parrot, a beautiful green bird with a white head, found primarily in Abaco and Inagua. Habitats from pine forests to mangrove swamps attract over 200 species of birds, including many migratory species that use the islands as a vital stopover point. Of course, no discussion of Bahamian wildlife would be complete without mentioning the world-famous swimming pigs. On Big Major Cay in the Exumas, a colony of feral pigs has adapted to a unique lifestyle. They spend their days lounging on the beach and swimming out to greet visiting boats, hoping for a tasty snack. No one is entirely sure how they got there. Some say they were left by sailors, others that they swam from a nearby shipwreck. Whatever their origin, these friendly paddling porkers have become a beloved and quirky symbol of the Bahamas, offering a surreal and joyful encounter for anyone lucky enough to visit their watery home. They are a perfect example of the surprising and delightful wonders you can find here. Beneath the waves, the animal kingdom truly explodes with diversity. The coral reefs are bustling cities of color and movement, home to parrotfish, angelfish, and countless other vibrant species. The shallow seagrass beds are feeding grounds for graceful sea turtles and the iconic queen conch. In the deeper waters, you can find majestic creatures like dolphins, eagle rays, and several species of sharks. The Bahamas has become a global leader in shark conservation, establishing a sanctuary for them in its waters. Whether you are snorkeling in a shallow cove or diving along a deep wall, the underwater world of the Bahamas offers an endless drama of life and a profound connection to the wild heart of the ocean. The plant life of the Bahamas is as unique and resilient, perfectly adapted to the thin alkaline soil and salt-laden air. While many think only of coconut palms, and those palms do line the beaches, but the botanical world is far more diverse. Vast pine yards cover much of the northern islands: Andros, Abaco, Grand Bahama. Caribbean pine dominates these forests. It thrives on limestone. Walking through feels different, cool, pine-scented, quiet, yet the ocean is never far. Where pines stop, coppice begins. Dense, tangled scrubland, a dry broadleaf forest, tough and resilient. Salt-tolerant hardwoods, shrubs and vines. The coppice provides food and shelter for birds, lizards, and insects. It's also a natural pharmacy for locals. Gumalemi tree with distinctive peeling red bark, the strongback plant. Towns burst with cultivated blooms, yellow elder, bougainvillea spilling over walls, frangipani, also known as plumeria, royal poinciana in fiery red, and the ever-present hibiscus. The mangrove is the coastal keystone, thriving in brackish tidal creeks, tangled forests with stilt-like roots. Mangroves buffer storm surge and erosion. Their roots are nurseries for fish, crustaceans, and shellfish. Mangroves filter water and link land to sea as juvenile marine life heads toward coral reefs. The flora of the Bahamas: survival, beauty, and critical importance. To understand the Bahamas of today, we must first journey deep into its past, long before the first European ships ever appeared on the horizon. The earliest known inhabitants of these islands were the Lucayans, a peaceful branch of the Arawakan-speaking Taino people. They migrated north from Hispaniola and from Cuba around 500 to 800 AD, settling throughout the archipelago. They were a gentle people who lived in harmony with their environment, subsisting on a diet of fish, shellfish, and small-scale farming of crops like cassava. They were skilled navigators, paddling between islands in large dugout canoes, and they developed a rich culture centered around their villages and ceremonial practices. For centuries they had these islands all to themselves, living a tranquil existence under the warm tropical sun. This peaceful world was shattered on October 12, 1492. On that fateful day, a navigator from Genoa named Christopher Columbus, sailing under the Spanish flag, made his first landfall in the New World on a Bahamian island he named San Salvador. While the exact island is still debated by historians, this event marked a cataclysmic turning point for the Lucayan people and the islands themselves. Columbus was searching for a new route to Asia, but instead he found a land and a people previously unknown to Europe. He described the Lucayans as gentle and welcoming, but this initial friendly encounter soon gave way to a dark and tragic chapter that forever altered their destiny. Following Columbus's arrival, the Spanish laid claim to the islands, which they called the Baja Mar, or shallow seas, from which the name Bahamas is derived. However, they found no gold or silver, the treasures they so desperately sought. Instead of colonizing the islands, they saw the Lucayan people as a resource to be exploited. Over the next few decades, Spanish slave traders systematically rounded up the entire Lucayan population, which was estimated to be around 40,000 people. They were forcibly transported to work and die in the gold mines and on the plantations of Hispaniola and Cuba. By 1520, the Bahamas had been completely depopulated. The original inhabitants were gone, leaving the islands eerily empty and silent for more than a century. This period of emptiness is a haunting part of the Bahamian story. For over 100 years, the 700 islands were largely abandoned, visited only occasionally by passing ships seeking fresh water, or by shipwreck survivors. The villages of the Lucayans fell into ruin and the forests began to reclaim the small clearings they had farmed. The islands became a kind of no man's land, unclaimed and ungoverned, a forgotten corner of Spain's vast new empire. It was this very emptiness and lack of authority that would set the stage for the next, and perhaps most famous chapter in the history of the Bahamas: the arrival of pirates, adventurers, and those seeking refuge from persecution in other lands. After more than a century of lying dormant, the Bahamas began to attract new attention in the mid-17th century. In 1648, a group of English Puritans from Bermuda set sail. They established a settlement on Eleuthera. Eleuthera, named from the Greek for freedom. The Eleutherian adventurers faced immense hardship: starvation, internal disputes, and shipwrecks. Yet they established the first permanent European settlement, marking the start of lasting British influence. A few years later, a settlement formed on New Providence Island. Its superb natural harbor made it the center of power and commerce, and later, a den of inequity. By the late 1600s and early 1700s, hundreds of hidden cays and treacherous shallow waters made the islands a perfect base for pirates and privateers. The golden age of piracy was in full swing. Nassau became the infamous capital. From roughly 1696 to 1718, Nassau was the heart of the Republic of Pirates. Buccaneers preyed on heavily laden Spanish and French merchant ships. Edward Teach, Blackbeard, Calico Jack Rackham, Anne Bonny, Mary Rudd. The town was wild, dangerous, and rebellious. The pirate reign couldn't last. Raids disrupted legitimate trade. In 1718, King George I appointed Captain Woodes Rogers as royal governor. Rogers arrived in Nassau with a fleet of Royal Navy ships. He offered a king's pardon to those who surrendered. He promised the gallows to those who refused. His motto, Expulsus Piratus, Restituta Commercia, pirates expelled, commerce restored, became the national motto. Some pirates accepted the pardon, others fought or fled. Rogers succeeded, ending the pirate republic and establishing British colonial rule. Under British control, the Bahamas entered a new phase. After the American Revolutionary War, thousands of British loyalists fled the United States and arrived in the Bahamas. They brought families, traditions, and their African slaves. The island's demographics changed dramatically. Loyalists tried to build a plantation economy, cotton and other crops. The system failed due to thin soil and insect infestations. The Loyalists' arrival solidified the Bahamas' social and political structure as a British colony for the next 2 centuries. For nearly 200 years following the arrival of the Loyalists, the Bahamas remained a relatively quiet British colony. The 19th century brought significant social change, most notably the abolition of the slave trade in 1807 and the emancipation of all slaves within the British Empire in 1834. This was a monumental event that granted freedom to the majority of the Bahamian population, who were of African descent. The post-emancipation period was a time of adjustment and struggle, as the newly freed population sought to build communities and establish livelihoods through subsistence farming, fishing, and sponging. The sponging industry in particular became the backbone of the Bahamian economy for many decades, providing employment for thousands of men who harvested natural sponges from the shallow banks. The 20th century ushered in waves of change that would set the Bahamas on the course to nationhood. During the Prohibition era in the United States from 1920 to 1933, the Bahamas experienced a massive economic boom. Its close proximity to the Florida coast made it the perfect hub for rum runners who smuggled illicit alcohol into the United States. This period brought a great deal of wealth to Nassau, funding construction and development, but the prosperity was short-lived, ending abruptly with the repeal of Prohibition. The Second World War also had a significant impact, with 2 Royal Air Force bases being established in the Bahamas, which helped to modernize infrastructure and connect the islands more closely with the outside world, particularly the United States. Following the war, the seeds of political change began to sprout. The 1950s and 60s were a period of rising political consciousness and a growing desire for self-governance among the majority black population. In 1953, the Progressive Liberal Party, or PLP, was formed, the country's first organized political party, with the goal of achieving equality and majority rule. This movement, led by a charismatic young lawyer named Lyndon Pindling, culminated in a landmark election victory in 1967. This event, known as majority rule, was a pivotal moment, transferring political power from the small, white merchant elite to the black majority for the first time in the country's history. It was the crucial stepping stone on the journey toward full independence. With majority rule achieved, the new government, led by Lyndon Pindling, began negotiations with the United Kingdom to transition from a self-governing colony to a fully sovereign nation. The process was peaceful and orderly, reflecting a mutual desire for a smooth transfer of power. On July 10, 1973, in a midnight ceremony filled with immense pride and emotion, the British Union Jack was lowered for the last time, and the new Bahamian flag of aquamarine gold and black was raised. Aquamarine gold black. The Commonwealth of the Bahamas was born, with Lyndon Pindling as its first prime minister. The Bahamas chose to remain a part of the Commonwealth of Nations, maintaining a symbolic tie to the British monarchy, but now stood as a proud, independent nation, ready to chart its own course in the world. Today, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas operates as a stable and mature parliamentary democracy, with a system of government deeply rooted in the British Westminster model. This is a legacy of its long history as a British colony. The country is a constitutional monarchy, with the British monarch, currently King Charles III, serving as the ceremonial head of state. The king is represented in the Bahamas by a governor-general, a Bahamian citizen appointed on the advice of the prime minister. The governor-general's role is largely symbolic, with duties that include approving legislation and formally appointing government officials, but actual political power rests with the elected Bahamian government. The government is structured into three branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislative branch, or parliament, is bicameral, with two houses. The House of Assembly is composed of members elected by the people in general elections held at least every 5 years. This is where most laws are debated and created. And the Senate. The Senate's members are appointed by the Governor-General based on recommendations from the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. The Senate acts as a house of review, providing a second look at legislation passed by the Assembly. The executive runs the day-to-day government and is led by the Prime Minister. After a general election, the leader of the party that wins the most seats in the House of Assembly is invited by the Governor-General to become Prime Minister. The Prime Minister then selects other MPs to form the cabinet. The cabinet is the government's main decision-making body, with each minister overseeing a ministry such as finance, tourism, or health. As of 2024, the Prime Minister is Philip Davis, leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. The judiciary is independent of the other branches. This independence is a cornerstone of Bahamian democracy. The court system includes magistrates' courts, the Supreme Court, and the Court of Appeal. For most cases, the Court of Appeal is the highest court domestically. For certain constitutional or major criminal cases, there is a final right of appeal to the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in London. This system reflects a commitment to the rule of law, democratic principles, and the protection of citizens' rights, providing a stable foundation for the nation's governance. When you ask a Bahamian what defines their culture more than anything else, the answer will almost certainly be a single electrifying word: Junkanoo. This is not just a festival, it's the pulsating heartbeat of the nation, a spectacular explosion of art, music, and dance that is deeply woven into the very fabric of Bahamian identity. It's a cultural phenomenon that, really transcends mere celebration, representing a powerful expression of freedom, resilience, and creativity. The main Junkanoo parades take place in the early hours of Boxing Day, which is December 26th, and on New Year's Day. Thousands of participants, organized into large competitive groups, flood the streets of Nassau and other towns with a wave of pure, unadulterated energy. The origins of Junkanoo are steeped in history and folklore, tracing back to the days of slavery. During the 18th century, slaves were given a few days off around Christmas time. They used this precious, fleeting freedom to celebrate in their own way, recreating the festivals of their West African homelands. They would don elaborate masks, often made from simple materials like sponges and paper, and make music with makeshift instruments, parading through the streets in a joyous act of cultural preservation and temporary liberation. The name Junkanoo itself is thought to derive from John Canoe, a legendary West African prince or folk hero who demanded the right to celebrate with his people, though the exact origin remains a subject of spirited debate among historians. What makes Junkanoo so breathtaking are the costumes and the music. The costumes are not simply outfits, they are monumental, mobile works of art. painstakingly handcrafted over many months. Made from a base of cardboard and wire, they're covered with intricately glued layers of brightly colored crepe paper, creating stunning, three-dimensional sculptures that can tower many feet high. The themes of the costumes change each year, drawing inspiration from Bahamian history, folklore, or current events. Accompanying this visual feast is the hypnotic, driving rhythm of the music. The sound is a powerful symphony of goombay drums made from goatskin, clanging cowbells, shrill whistles, and booming brass horns, a cacophony that is both chaotic and perfectly synchronized, compelling everyone to move. For the participants, Junkanoo is a way of life. The major groups, such as the Valley Boys, the Saxon Superstars, and One Family, have dedicated workshops called shacks where members spend countless hours designing, building, and practicing for the parades. It fosters an incredible sense of community, competition, and pride. The groups are judged on their music, their costumes, and their overall presentation, with rivalries that are both fierce and friendly. But beyond the competition, Junkanoo is a spiritual release, a celebration of Bahamian heritage that connects the present generation to their ancestors. It's a loud, proud, and beautiful declaration of who they are, a tradition that continues to evolve while holding fast to its historical roots. Beyond the explosive energy of Junkanoo, Bahamian identity is also expressed through a collection of cherished national symbols, each one chosen to represent the unique natural heritage and spirit of the islands. These symbols are a source of great national pride, appearing in art, on currency, and taught to every schoolchild. We have already met the national bird, the magnificent West Indian flamingo. These elegant, long-legged birds with their brilliant pink and scarlet plumage were once hunted nearly to extinction. Their remarkable recovery, thanks to dedicated conservation efforts in the Inagua National Park, has made them a powerful symbol of the nation's resilience and its deep commitment to protecting its natural treasures for future generations to enjoy. The national flower is the yellow elder, a vibrant and hardy plant that brightens the landscape across the islands. Its clusters of brilliant, trumpet-shaped yellow flowers are a common and cheerful sight, thriving even in the challenging Bahamian soil. The flower was chosen as the national symbol because it blooms throughout the year and is found on every island, representing the unity and perseverance of the Bahamian people. It's a beautiful, everyday reminder of the sunshine and warmth that characterize the nation, a symbol of optimism and the natural beauty that is accessible to all, not just in protected parks, but in gardens and along roadsides, woven into the daily tapestry of island life. Just as the flamingo rules the sky, the national fish, the blue marlin, reigns over the deep waters surrounding the islands. This powerful and majestic billfish is renowned for its size, strength, and incredible speed, making it one of the most prized catches for sport fishermen around the world. The blue marlin symbolizes the economic importance of the ocean and the adventurous seafaring spirit of the Bahamian people. Its image evokes the deep, mysterious indigo waters of the tongue of the ocean and the thrilling dance between a fisherman and this formidable creature of the deep. It represents the natural bounty of the sea, which has sustained the nation for centuries through fishing and more recently through tourism. Finally, the national tree of the Bahamas is the Lignum vitae, a name which translates from Latin as wood of life. The tree is exceptionally dense and durable, with wood so heavy it sinks in water, symbolizing the strength and stability of the Bahamian people. It produces a beautiful blue flower and a resin that has been used for centuries in traditional medicine for its healing properties. The Lignum vitae, therefore, represents not just physical strength but also health, healing, and the enduring life force of the nation. The flamingo, the yellow elder, the blue marlin, and the Lignum vitae. Together, these symbols paint a rich portrait of a nation deeply connected to its land, its sea, and its own resilient character. The identity of the Bahamas is also shaped by a rich oral tradition of folklore and storytelling, a cultural inheritance that blends African influences, European influences, and indigenous influences. These tales are passed down from one generation to the next, filled with colorful characters and moral lessons. One of the most prominent figures is the Chickcharney, a mischievous bird-like creature with 3 fingers, 3 toes, and red eyes, said to live in the pine forests of Andros Island. Treat it with respect and it brings good luck, be rude and it brings misfortune. Stories that entertain and teach respect for nature and elders. Another tradition is bush medicine, passed down for centuries, brought by African slaves with herbal knowledge, and adapted to the Bahamas' new flora. still a primary healthcare option in many family island communities. Elders know the properties of leaves, barks, and roots, which to boil for a fever, which to use for a cough, and which to apply to a wound, a deep, sustainable connection to the land, and cultural self-reliance. Craftsmanship, straw work, one of the oldest industries, passed mother to daughter. Women weave dried silver-top palm fronds and native palms into baskets, hats, purses, and placemats. Artisans at Nassau's straw market, fingers moving fast and precise. Each island has a unique plait, experts can tell its origin. Not just craft, an economic and cultural legacy. Finally, family and community are central. In the out islands, communities are small, tight-knit, and everyone relies on neighbors. The ASU, an informal savings club where members contribute a set amount each week or each month, and each member takes a turn receiving the full lump sum. Built on trust and mutual support, it helps people save without banks. Storytelling, bush medicine, and traditional crafts together form the resilient, vibrant Bahamian identity. The Bahamian passion for life extends enthusiastically into the world of sports, where national pride and community spirit are on full display. While the islands might be small in population, they've produced a remarkable number of world-class athletes, especially in track and field. This sport holds a really special place in the hearts of Bahamians, and the country has a proud history of success on the international stage. The Golden Girls, a team of female sprinters who won Olympic gold in the 4x100-meter relay in 2000, are national heroes. Their victory a moment of immense pride that is still celebrated today. This legacy continues to inspire young athletes across the islands, making track and field a super popular and competitive sport in schools and local clubs. Beyond the running track, the sport that truly captures the essence of Bahamian life is sailing. For centuries, the sea has been the highway, the workplace, and the playground of the islands, and this deep connection is celebrated in the tradition of sloop sailing. These regattas are not just boat races, they're vibrant cultural festivals that bring entire communities together. The boats, known as Bahamian sloops, are traditional wooden sailing vessels, handcrafted by local boat builders. The races are fiercely competitive and highly skilled, with large crews balancing precariously on wooden planks or pry boards to keep the boat from capsizing. The National Family Island Regatta in Georgetown, Exuma, is the largest and most famous of these events, a week-long celebration of sailing, food, music, and pure Bahamian spirit. Of course, with the crystal-clear waters surrounding the islands, it's no surprise that water sports of all kinds are incredibly popular. The Bahamas is a world-renowned destination for sport fishing, attracting anglers from all corners of the globe who come in search of trophy-sized blue marlin, tuna, and wahoo. Fishing tournaments are major events on the Bahamian social calendar, combining high-stakes competition with laid-back island hospitality. Snorkeling and diving are also more than just tourist activities. They're a way of life for many locals. Exploring the vibrant coral reefs and mysterious blue holes is a common weekend pastime, a chance to connect with the incredible underwater world that is such an integral part of their national identity and natural heritage. On land, sports like basketball, baseball, and cricket also have a strong following. Basketball in particular has gained immense popularity, partly due to the success of Bahamian players who have made it to the NBA, like Michael Thompson and his son Klay Thompson, and more recently, DeAndre Ayton and Buddy Hield. You can find basketball courts in almost every community, bustling with activity after school and on weekends. These games are social gatherings, places where friendships are forged and rivalries are played out with passion and skill. Whether on the track, the court, or the sea, sports in the Bahamas are a powerful expression of community, competition, and a deep love for an active outdoor life. To truly experience the soul of the Bahamas, you must taste it. Bahamian cuisine is a delicious and hearty reflection of the island's history and geography, a flavorful blend of Southern American, Caribbean, and uniquely local influences. At the heart of it all is the bounty of the sea. Seafood is the cornerstone of the culture, and no sea creature is more important or more beloved than the queen conch. This large sea snail, pronounced conch, is the national food. It's prepared in endless ways, raw in a zesty conch salad, battered and deep-fried as cracked conch, simmered in a rich tomato-based chowder, or mixed into crispy fritters. The quintessential Bahamian meal is cracked conch with a side of peas and rice. This is comfort food at its finest. The conch meat is tenderized and then fried to a perfect golden brown, served with a tangy dipping sauce. Peas and rice is made with pigeon peas and rice, bacon or salt pork, onions, thyme, and a hint of tomato paste. The combo, the crispy conch, the fluffy savory rice, and a zesty kick of lime and hot pepper, is the taste of the Bahamas on a plate, a meal enjoyed in humble beach shacks and fine dining alike. Another staple of the Bahamian table is fish, prepared in many mouth-watering ways. A popular breakfast is boil fish, a simple yet flavorful soup made with flaky white fish like grouper or snapper, simmered with potatoes, onions, and spices and served with a side of Johnny cake. Whole fried snapper, scored and seasoned. Stew fish, pan-fried fish smothered in a thick, savory brown gravy. Rock lobster or spiny lobster, often grilled and served with melted butter and a squeeze of lime. The flavors of the Bahamas extend beyond seafood. Chicken, pork and goat, usually stewed or grilled with fiery local spices. Side dishes, baked macaroni and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, and fried plantains. For dessert, guava duff, a decadent sweet treat made by rolling guava paste into a soft dough, then boiled or steamed and served warm with a sweet, buttery rum or brandy sauce. It's a rich and satisfying end to a true Bahamian feast. Music is the ever-present soundtrack to life in the Bahamas, a vibrant thread that connects every festival, social gathering, and quiet moment. The most distinctively Bahamian sounds are found in its folk music traditions. We've already felt the powerful percussive drive of Junkanoo music, but the rhythm of the islands also includes goombay. Goombay is a calypso-influenced secular folk style used for storytelling and dancing. Goombay features the goatskin drum, acoustic guitars, and maracas. You'd hear it at a family gathering or a local bar, with lyrics about daily life, love, and local politics. The soul of family island music is rake and scrape. It originated on Cat Island, named for its signature carpenter's saw. A musician holds the saw between their knees and scrapes it with a screwdriver or a knife, creating a high-pitched rhythmic sound, accompanied by a goatskin goombay drum and an accordion. Rake and scrape back social dances like the quadrille and the heel and toe polka. It's joyful, creative, and vital. These sounds form the foundation for contemporary Bahamian music, blending with reggae, soca, pop, and R&B. Baha men fused Junkanoo with pop and broke out internationally with Who Let the Dogs Out, Ronnie Butler, Kirkland KB Bodie. Music is living and evolving. Where there is music, there is dance. Dance is communal and celebratory. The quadrille is still performed at festivals, but more often dancing is informal and spontaneous. When a rake and scrape band plays, people of all ages move. Close-ups, saw, and drum. This love of music and movement is a fundamental part of the Bahamian character, a joyful, uninhibited celebration. The modern Bahamian economy stands firmly on two powerful pillars: tourism and international financial services. These industries are the primary engines of national prosperity, generating most of the GDP. Tourism is by far the dominant force. The island's stunning natural beauty, world-famous beaches, turquoise waters, and year-round sunshine makes the Bahamas a top destination for millions annually. Tourism is the largest employer, providing jobs for more than half the workforce. Hotel staff, tour guides, taxi drivers, and restaurant owners. The economy is intertwined with visitors arriving by air and arriving by sea. The tourism sector is incredibly diverse. Paradise Island and Cable Beach have sprawling water parks, casinos, and luxury amenities. There are also quiet boutique hotels and secluded rental villas in the family islands. The cruise industry is massive. Nassau is one of the busiest cruise ports, with thousands disembarking daily to visit shops, restaurants, and historical sites. Foreign currency inflow is the lifeblood of the economy, funding government services, infrastructure projects, and supporting small businesses. Running parallel is the financial services industry. The Bahamas is a leading offshore financial center. A stable political environment, absence of income taxes, absence of corporate taxes, absence of capital gains taxes, and strict banking secrecy attracts international banks and investment. Hundreds of banks and trust companies operate here. The sector employs fewer people but adds high-value GDP and brings economic sophistication and global connectivity. But this dual reliance creates challenges. Heavy reliance on tourism makes the economy vulnerable to global downturns, hurricanes, and health crises. Financial services face pressure from international regulators. The Bahamas is diversifying into maritime services, light manufacturing, and agricultural technology, while maintaining its edge in tourism and finance, and a high standard of living. When it comes to international trade, the Bahamas is overwhelmingly an import-dependent nation. Due to its limited land area and challenging soil conditions, the country does not have a large-scale agricultural or manufacturing base. As a result, almost everything consumed on the islands must be imported: food, fuel, clothing, cars, construction materials. The vast majority of these goods come from the United States, its closest and largest trading partner. This reliance on imports means the cost of living in the Bahamas can be quite high. Prices reflect shipping costs. Import duties are a major source of government revenue. This trade imbalance is a fundamental characteristic of the Bahamian economy. While imports dominate, the Bahamas does have a few key exports. The most significant of these is refined petroleum. Grand Bahama hosts a major oil storage and transshipment terminal. Beyond oil, many exports come from natural resources. Spiny lobster is a major export, prized for its sweet meat, lobster being packed for export. Salt is another big export. Vast solar salt pans create a stark industrial landscape. Another valuable export is aragonite, a form of calcium carbonate from the Bahama Banks. Huge deposits of pure fine white sand are mined and exported. Aragonite is used in glass manufacturing. Aragonite is used in agriculture. Aragonite is used in cement production. The Bahamas also exports smaller quantities of rum and various chemical products. But these exports are dwarfed by imports. The economy is largely service-based. Foreign currency is primarily earned through tourism and finance. On a local level, a vibrant network of small businesses supports residents and tourists. Fishing remains vital, not just for export, but also for local restaurants and households. Fish and conch. Small-scale farming produces fresh fruits and vegetables for local markets. The creative economy is important. Artisans make straw goods, wood carvings, and other handicrafts popular as souvenirs. These local enterprises are the heart of the community economy, providing livelihoods and preserving traditions. By many measures, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is considered a prosperous and developed nation. It consistently ranks as one of the wealthiest independent countries in the Americas, after the United States and Canada, when measured by gross domestic product per capita. This high level of income per person affords its citizens a relatively high standard of living compared to many of its Caribbean and Latin American neighbors. This prosperity is a direct result of the success of its tourism and financial services industries. These industries have enabled the development of modern infrastructure, a stable healthcare system, and a well-regarded education system. The nation's economic success story is often held up as a model for small island developing states. Due to its high per capita income, the World Bank classifies the Bahamas as a high-income developed country. That classification has implications: less access to concessional financing or development aid. That's especially hard when major hurricanes strike, causing damage equal to a large share of annual GDP. The Bahamian government is pushing internationally for financing rules that account for extreme climate vulnerability, not just income. In the global arena, the Bahamas is an active member of many international organizations: United Nations, Caribbean Community, Organization of American States, Commonwealth of Nations. Through these forums, it engages on climate change, financial regulation, and sustainable development. Its strategic location and stable democracy make it a reliable partner for the United States and other regional powers. The nation's foreign policy focuses on democracy, the rule of law, and peaceful conflict resolution. Overall, the Bahamas holds a unique global position, a small island nation that has leveraged its natural beauty and strategic advantages to achieve economic success. A Caribbean leader known for stability and a high standard of living. But it faces challenges: economic vulnerability, reliance on imports, and the existential threat of climate change and rising seas. Its future depends on navigating these challenges, diversifying the economy, and continuing to champion its interests on the world stage. The Bahamas is a treasure chest of memorable landmarks, each telling a piece of its rich and varied story. In the heart of Nassau, history stands carved in stone at the Queen's Staircase. This incredible structure, often called the 66 Steps, was hewn out of solid limestone rock by slaves between 1793 and 1794. It was intended to provide a direct route from Fort Fincastle to the city below. As you walk up these steep enclosed steps, surrounded by lush vegetation and the coolness of the rock walls, you can't help but feel the weight of history. It is a powerful and solemn monument to the unnamed laborers who built it, and today it serves as one of Nassau's most visited and photographed landmarks, a beautiful yet poignant link to the island's colonial past. High above the staircase stands Fort Fincastle, another key historic site. This small, paddle-wheel-shaped fort was built around the same time as the staircase, under the direction of Lord Dunmore. Its purpose was to protect Nassau from potential invaders, offering a commanding panoramic view of the island, the harbor, and Paradise Island. While its cannons never had to fire a shot in anger, the fort remains a fascinating piece of military architecture. Climbing to its ramparts provides not only a lesson in history but also one of the best vantage points in the city. Together with the nearby water tower, these structures form a historic complex that paints a vivid picture of 18th century life and the strategic importance of this island capital. Venturing into the Family Islands reveals landmarks of a different kind, often defined by their picturesque charm and maritime significance. In the Abacos, the Elbow Reef Lighthouse in Hopetown is an iconic symbol recognized by sailors worldwide. It is one of the very last remaining hand-wound, kerosene-burning lighthouses in the world. Its distinctive red and white candy-striped pattern makes it an unmissable and beloved feature of the landscape. Climbing its 101 steps rewards you with a breathtaking 360-degree view of the stunning Sea of Abaco. The lighthouse is more than just a navigational aid, it is a cherished piece of living history, lovingly maintained by the local community as a beacon of their heritage. Another remarkable landmark, this time a natural one, is the Glass Window Bridge on the island of Eleuthera. This narrow strip of land, where a man-made bridge now sits, separates the turbulent deep blue waters of the Atlantic Ocean on one side from the calm turquoise waters of the Bight of Eleuthera on the other. The contrast is absolutely stunning and has been famously described as the narrowest place on Earth. Standing on the bridge, you can witness the dramatic power of nature firsthand. It is a raw, beautiful, and awe-inspiring sight that perfectly captures the unique geography of the Bahamas, where serene beauty and untamed ocean power exist side by side, creating an unforgettable and dramatic spectacle. While the Bahamas has many fascinating landmarks, its official representation on the UNESCO World Heritage List is still in its early stages. The country has submitted 2 sites to the tentative list, which is the first step towards nomination. The first is the historic heart of Nassau, the colonial grid of the old city, its historic forts, and surrounding colonial-era buildings showing pirate to British history. The second is the Inagua National Park, a globally significant wetland home to the world's largest breeding colony of West Indian flamingos. These nominations highlight national commitment to protecting culture and nature. So, what truly makes the Bahamas stand out? A unique combination of factors. First and foremost, sheer diversity of islands. Over 700 islands and cays. Choose your adventure. High-energy glamour, Nassau and Paradise Island resorts and nightlife. Or escape to an out-island by short flight, where waves on an empty beach are the loudest sound. Bustling excitement and serene seclusion, both in one nation. The Bahamas is also uniquely known for its incredible water-based experiences that go beyond the ordinary. It's not just about beautiful beaches, it's about interacting with nature in a truly special way. Swim with the Exuma pigs, snorkel with nurse sharks at Compass Cay, or feed wild stingrays on a shallow sandbar. These accessible, gentle encounters create pure magic. The water's clarity and color and the mysterious blue holes, marine attractions unto themselves. Ultimately, the warmth and spirit of the Bahamian people. Genuine hospitality, deeply ingrained. Bahamians proud and eager to share. Vibrant Junkanoo culture, flavorful cuisine, laid-back rhythm of life, relaxing and invigorating. Postcard-perfect paradise, enriched with deep soul, history, and unforgettable authentic experiences. Our journey through the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is now drawing to a close, but the story of these islands is one that truly has no end. We have traveled from the bustling streets of Nassau to the quiet coves of the Family Islands, uncovering a destination far more complex and captivating than any single postcard could suggest. We've seen that the Bahamas is a nation built on contrasts, the tranquil shallows of its banks and the mysterious depths of its blue holes, the quiet solitude of an empty beach and the explosive energy of a Junkanoo parade. It is a place where a rich history of pirates and pioneers lives on in the modern world of luxury resorts and international finance, creating a dynamic and utterly unique cultural landscape that continues to fascinate. The enduring allure of this archipelago lies in its remarkable ability to be so many things to so many people. For some, it is the ultimate playground, diving into underwater caves, wrestling with a mighty blue marlin, or sailing across the pristine Sea of Abaco. For others, it is a sanctuary, a haven for quiet contemplation, where the soul can be soothed by the gentle rhythm of the tides and the warmth of the sun. It is a classroom for the curious, offering lessons in geology, marine biology, and a history that is both turbulent and triumphant. And for everyone who visits, it is a feast for the senses, the vibrant colors of its waters, the savory taste of its cuisine, and the infectious rhythm of its music. We have learned that the true wealth of the Bahamas is not just found in its stunning natural environment, but in the spirit of its people, the warmth, resilience, and hospitality of Bahamians. It is a nation that has faced challenges, from the tragedy of its first inhabitants to the destructive power of hurricanes, yet has always emerged with strength, determination, and an unwavering sense of optimism for the future. This spirit is reflected in the pride they take in their heritage, the care they show for their islands, and the genuine welcome they extend to visitors. Reflecting on everything we have explored, from the meaning of the flag to the intricacies of the economy, a clear picture emerges. The Bahamas is a nation that has masterfully balanced its natural gifts with thoughtful development, and its deep-rooted traditions with a forward-looking perspective. It is a country that understands its most precious assets are its crystal-clear waters, its vibrant culture, and its welcoming people. This understanding is what ensures that the allure of the Bahamas will not fade, but will continue to call out to travelers, dreamers, and adventurers for generations to come, promising a journey that is as enriching as it is beautiful. As we conclude our virtual tour, I hope you feel as though you have walked the pink sand beaches, tasted the zesty flavor of a fresh conch salad, and felt the powerful beat of the goombay drum. We have journeyed through the geography, history, and culture of this incredible nation, but to truly understand the Bahamas, you must experience it for yourself. This has been more than just a presentation of facts. It is an open invitation. An invitation to come and discover your own corner of this sprawling paradise, to create your own stories, and to feel the magic of the islands that has captivated so many for so long. The Bahamas is not just a place to see, it is a place to be. I encourage you to step beyond the well-trodden paths. While the famous resorts offer undeniable comfort and fun, the true heart of the nation often beats strongest in the family islands. Rent a boat and explore the cays of the Exumas, each one a small gem set in a turquoise sea. Visit Eleuthera and witness the breathtaking power of the glass window bridge. Go to Cat Island and listen to a local rake and scrape band, feeling the joy of music made with a carpenter's saw. Talk to the bone fishing guide in Andros, the straw weaver in Nassau, or the boat builder in Abaco. It is in these personal connections that the soul of the Bahamas truly reveals itself to you. When you visit, you become part of the story. Your presence supports the local economy, helps sustain the cultural traditions, and encourages the preservation of the natural environment that makes it all possible. Travel with curiosity and respect, and you will be rewarded with experiences that go far beyond a simple vacation. You'll find that the beauty of the Bahamas is not just in its landscapes but in its moments. The shared laughter with a new friend, the quiet awe of watching a sunset paint the sky, the simple pleasure of feeling soft sand between your toes. These are the souvenirs that you will carry with you long after you have returned home. So, whether you are dreaming of adventure, relaxation, or cultural immersion, the Bahamas is waiting for you with open arms. It is a place where you can lose yourself and find yourself, all in the same trip. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the islands of sun, sand, sea, and soul. I hope this journey has inspired you to make your own Bahamian adventure a reality. Until we meet again on another journey, travel safe, stay curious, and as they say in the islands, have a good day.